It's Sabbath morning in the Dominican Republic. And all over the island, Seventh-day Adventist churches, approximately 330,000 members, are getting ready to welcome people to worship. For some, this is a matter of simply unlocking a door. For others, far too many others, it's a process that requires a bit more work, week after week. This is the home of Claudio Figueiredo. It is located in the town of Bonao in northeastern Dominican Republic. Claudio lives here with his wife and 2 daughters. It is a nice home, but it isn't a great church. Every Sabbath, this house is converted into a place of worship for the Nuevo Jerusalem II Seventh-day Adventist congregation. This is a group that was planted by Claudio. He used to attend a large established Adventist church in the area. They did outreach, but only to neighborhoods close to the church. However, there was another neighborhood, Bonao, that was growing by leaps and bounds.
Sin embargo, toda la gente aquí estaba mudando, se estaba haciendo casas y era el momento de salir, como dice la Biblia, por tanto, id. Y emprendimos este viaje, un proyecto que parecía un poco difícil.
8 members from the large church, including Claudio and his wife, left to plant a new group.
Pero empezamos a predicar en esta zona, a visitar a las personas, a visitar a los niños, a visitar a los enfermos. Hicimos nuestra primera conferencia aquí, probando, y se bautizaron 7 personas. Y entonces dijimos, wow, qué bien, realmente Dios está probando este proyecto, y decidimos seguir predicando.
In time, the little group grew. Today there are 35 members, not including children, and 10 to 15 visitors gathering each week. But there is no place to meet, except in Claudio's carport.
Mi casa está al servicio de Dios, porque cuando nosotros buscamos el libro de Salmo 24, dice que del Señor es la tierra y su plenitud. O sea, esta casa no es mía, es del Señor. Entonces, como es del Señor, Él me ha permitido a mí vivir en ella, pero para servirle a Él.
No doubt, Claudio has a generous and humble spirit. He is happy to open his home for this ministry, but it doesn't mean there aren't challenges for the family. All the work of setting up the church must be done every week by Claudio and his family, from setting up chairs to preparing the equipment.
Pero como no tenemos las condiciones, si la gente quiere ir al baño, les presto mi baño. Si la gente necesita mi casa, los muebles, se los presto. Pero imagínate cuando está lloviendo. Son calles que no están asfaltadas. El lodo es un desafío. Pero si está lloviendo, todo el mundo entra a mi casa. Entonces no es tan fácil. No es como ir a la iglesia, sino hay que preparar cada día de culto la iglesia.
This situation is a common one in the Dominican Republic. While there are more than 1,600 Adventist congregations in the country, only about 65% have a church of their own. Some have managed to purchase land on which to build, and others are still renting or gathering in homes, under trees, and in makeshift shelters that were meant to be temporary, but have unfortunately become permanent. The reason for this shortage? An unstoppable passion for outreach. In the Dominican Republic, church leadership and lay members alike have a devotion for growing the church.
El espíritu del adventismo es bien fogoso, como decimos, muy misionero, muy entusiasta y de mucha dedicación. Tú das una conferencia donde la gente no solamente te llena los asientos, sino los pasillos y las ventanas alrededor para escuchar el mensaje. Y gente receptiva, eso le llena de emoción a un predicador y lo inspira.
Pastor Bautista may be specifically referring to Adventists in the central Dominican Republic, but his words are applicable to the entire country, as we will see in this episode of Maranatha Mission Stories. Today, we'll visit congregations in the Dominican Republic and hear stories of how ordinary people are answering the call to take the gospel to their neighbors. We'll also see how church is so much more than a place of worship. First, we head to the central part of the Dominican Republic, to the province of San Cristobal. Surrounded by jungle-covered hills, this region is known for its agriculture, particularly its avocados. San Cristobal is the second largest producer of avocados after Mexico, and many people in this area work with this popular fruit. It is here where we'll find a tiny building in the town of Cambita Garabito. This building is home to La Guama II, a daughter church of the original La Guama, constructed by Maranatha in 1993. This is Dario Garcia. He was a member of La Guama, but in 2008, he and 8 other people branched out to start a small group in a new neighborhood without an Adventist presence.
Fuimos de casa en casa, pero nos hicimos amigos de la junta de vecinos, que es la comunidad, ¿verdad? Pues, y hacemos actividades sociales con ellos, la iglesia, nosotros. Veíamos algunas necesidades en personas de la comunidad que tiene pocos recursos, y entonces nosotros buscábamos cosas, ropa, comida, y nos acercamos a ellos, cualquier necesidad, y damos estudio bíblico por casa. Y entonces ahí, cuando estaban preparados, ahí venía el bautismo.
Over time, the group grew and eventually became La Guama II. As a church plant and without a permanent base, they hopped from place to place. This little structure is their third church home. Today, they have 70 members, a number that is far too large for the space.
No cabemos en esa iglesia. Los miembros no caben. Y cuando vienen muchas visitas, los padres con sus niños, ahí tenemos clubes, invitadores, aventureros, guías, y no cabemos.
The size of the church isn't their only problem. The space lacks ventilation. While the walls are lined with fans, it makes very little difference when the weather is scorching. When it rains, the water drips through the roof.
Otro de los detalles es que, considerando que es rentado, no podemos hacerle modificaciones al lugar para estar más cómodos. También tenemos cierta, aunque nunca nos han tomado nada de la iglesia, pero dado que no es nuestro y el lugar no es tan seguro, no corremos el riesgo de que se nos pierda algo de los, digámoslo así, de los instrumentos de la iglesia. Así que esas son algunas de las dificultades.
Despite the challenges, the members have been working hard to find a solution and finally purchased a plot of land just a few doors down. Now, in the next year, Maranatha has committed to build La Guama II a church of their own. It is one of 2 churches in this part of the country that Maranatha has agreed to help. The second is across town, where another congregation has been praying for Maranatha to arrive. In fact, its welcome is scrawled across their wall. This is the Torre de Salvacion Church. More than 130 people attend here each Sabbath, cramming under the shade of their crude structure. This church hardly belongs in this neighborhood, which is nicer than that of its sister church, La Guama II. But the patio is an improvement over their original space. Torre de Salvacion started when a handful of people left their home church to start a new one in this neighborhood. They started by meeting in the garage of Sister Vicenta Adames. This is her daughter.
Esta iglesia estaba en mi hogar porque mi mamá, al junto de otra compañera de la iglesia, ellas fueron las que tomaron la iniciativa de reunirse en este lugar. Pero como no había algún otro local donde reunirse, entonces estaba disponible mi casa y por tal motivo nos reuníamos ahí. Pero luego el grupo fue creciendo y fue aumentando y ya no cabíamos en la marquesina a tal punto que tuvimos que cerrar la calle, reunirnos también en un solar que estaba enfrente y era un poco complicado.
With the help of donations from members and even other congregations, Torre de Salvacion purchased land. They chopped wood from the mountains to build a frame. Someone donated the metal for the roof. They poured a floor. They beautified the property the best they could and filled the space. But they still need a real church.
Las dificultades aquí tenemos muchas. En primer lugar, el ruido. Cada vez que pasa un vehículo, sabe que se pierde la concentración del templo. Las personas tienden a mirar para la calle, pierde completamente la concentración. Pero la lluvia también nos afecta la audiovisión.
Torre de Salvacion will receive a new Maranatha church, along with separate buildings for a bathroom and Sabbath school classrooms. Currently, the children meet wherever they can find shade on the property. The new space will provide better shelter and a bit of dignity. Until then, both Torre de Salvacion and La Guamatu will keep doing the work of building God's kingdom.
Porque a pesar de las circunstancias, la iglesia no se ha avergonzado de compartir el evangelio, aunque no está en el mejor estado físico el lugar donde nos reunimos. En este sentido, una de las cosas que valoro de esta iglesia es precisamente ese afecto, ese amor, esa humildad que los caracteriza para poder compartir con otros sin importar las circunstancias.
When we come back, we visit a special church for a special group of people. The Dominican Republic is a country that inhabits the eastern half of the island of Hispaniola. The other half is occupied by the Republic of Haiti. Though they share a border and a relatively small landmass, the two countries are quite different in many ways. The Dominican Republic was settled by the Spanish, and its 11.5 million population speaks Spanish. They are largely Catholics, and much of their culture is born from Christianity. Haiti occupies 3/8 of the island, and its 11.9 million people speak Haitian Creole or French. While the majority of the population is Christian, the culture contains a mix of African, European, and indigenous influences. Such differences in culture, along with border disputes, have always caused tension between the Dominicans and Haitians. But in recent years, that tension has been heightened due to immigration. The issues are complex and stretch back hundreds of years, but political instability, economic strain, and growing violence in Haiti have led to an influx of migrants to the Dominican Republic.
So it's something that we have seen in Africa, we have seen in America, we have seen everywhere else. Where the conditions are better, people have the tendency to find for better job, for better conditions than the ones they are suffering in their country. It's not they don't love their country, but if you are facing challenge to eat each day, at least one meal a day, and you are facing challenges to give education to your children, and you will look for the better, for the best. And this is what they have been doing the past decades. Because of the development, because this country, Dominican Republic, is wealthier than that one.
As seen in other parts of the world, any influx in migrants can cause serious conflict between people. There can be increased prejudice, leading to hate and fear toward those categorized as the outsiders. But where human nature fails, the Holy Spirit inspires us to push past the bias and lead into love. This is Ebenezer II Seventh-day Adventist Church. It is in La Vega, located in the northeastern region of the Dominican Republic. This church is packed and literally overflowing every Sabbath. This church is different from the other congregations that we've visited so far in that every member here is Haitian.
Ici, les églises haïtiennes sont très complexes. Pour vous dire, ce sont tous des Haïtiens et des immigrants venus d'Haïti. Il y en a qui sont ici il y a environ 26 ans. Il y en a même qui ont 30 ans ici. Mais il y a de nouveaux aussi. Vu la situation migratoire du pays, il y a beaucoup de défis.
But Pastor Sonfleur has become an expert at this complex work, pastoring 9 Haitian churches in the country for a total of about 850 members, give or take, depending on the day. The largest is this church, Ebenezer II, with more than 250 in attendance most weeks. Here they gather in the Haitian style of worship, which Pastor Sonfleur describes as more dynamic.
Nous, les Haïtiens qui vivons ici, nous avons une culture d'adoration différente de la manière dont nous adorons et la musique, notre façon de prêcher. Parfois, cette dynamique au milieu des frères, ils se sentent à l'aise quand ils adorent le Seigneur et parmi les frères et sœurs haïtiens.
And for this group of people, Sabbath is more than a time to worship. It is a precious time and place to belong, especially when every other day can make them feel like an outsider.
Beaucoup des membres d'église souffrent du racisme. Parce que parfois, et vous savez, le type de travail qu'on réalise parfois décrit votre situation économique. Parce que les membres qui font partie de mes églises travaillent majoritairement dans le secteur de l'agriculture et de la construction. Et ça a fait d'eux des victimes quand ils marchent à travers les rues. Parce qu'ils portent des vêtements sales à cause du type de travail qu'ils réalisent. Et parfois, on les arrête.
As a trusted member of the community, Pastor Sanfleur is often called in to advocate or intervene for church members or any Haitian, especially as more are facing challenges due to stricter immigration and deportation policies. But the church provides a haven and important community. Not only are there worship services, there are also educational programs every week. Church members have organized English and Spanish language courses, driver's education, vocational programs, literacy and first aid classes. Anything to provide support for Haitians.
Le sentiment, il y a ce qu'on appelle le sentiment d'appartenance. Et que la personne soit adventiste du 7e jour ou appartenant à une autre dénomination, qu'il ne soit chrétien et du tout.
Yet the church lives under a constant threat. They worry that their space may be taken away from them. The congregation has been in this space for more than 18 months, but they have moved multiple times over the last 25 years. This is another layer of instability for a population that is already living in uncertainty.
Mais avec la construction d'un temple, l'église devient beaucoup plus solide et une adresse fixe. Parce que quand on n'a pas un temple construit, on est obligé de changer d'adresse.
What's more, not a single Haitian congregation in the Dominican Republic has a church of their own. But not for long. In the next year, Maranatha plans to break ground on the construction of a church for Ebenezer II. It is news that is bringing hope and joy to the congregation.
Et c'était pour moi le plus grand de mes soucis. Passer 9 ans dans un district sans pouvoir construire ni un temple, et ça m'a beaucoup fait mal. Mais grâce à Maranatha, je peux dire que je vais relever un grand défi. C'est un grand défi que Maranatha est en train de m'aider à relever. Parce que construire un temple pour les Haïtiens ici en République dominicaine, c'est un très grand défi. Et pour moi, c'est un privilège, c'est un honneur et c'est la plus grande joie. Et j'ai hâte de voir un jour ce temple construit et pour participer à la cérémonie de l'inauguration, pour remercier le Seigneur pour tout ce qu'il a fait pour nous. Et aujourd'hui, notre foi est en train d'être matérialisée. Et merci encore, Maranatha. Je ne cesserai jamais de vous remercier parce que, pour moi, c'est Dieu qui vous a envoyé.
Until then, these 250 members will continue squeezing into this space, entering into the community, no longer as strangers, but as family in a foreign land.
They can worship their style. They can meet with people that understand them and understand that their longing, their loneliness, facing their challenges. And I know this idea of belonging, identity, when you can find a place where you feel that you belong to that place, that you relate with people that loves you, that accept you. This is important, and this is why the gospel is so appealing to us, because it offers us today and in the future this kind of scenario. How many times the Bible insists with, how to handle, how to treat displaced people, foreigners, those who are, and because God knows, and by the way, nobody understands better that feeling than Jesus himself. Because when he came as a human being, he was not welcomed from the beginning as a baby. So it's something that I think echoes in the hearts of God, because his son came to this world and he was mistreated, he was not understood, he was not accepted, and he was even crucified. So to feel anything different from love to these people, to me, is not Christian. We have a church that belongs to us. This is our church. This is our people. This is our identity. We belong to them. And I thank the Lord and I thank Maranatha for making the decision to build them a church where they can worship God in such a way that tomorrow, when we will go to heaven, I think they will come back to us and say, thank you for that church.
Every Sabbath, there are approximately 103,000 Seventh-day Adventist churches getting ready to welcome more than 23 million believers through their doors. May we all remember that Sabbath is not just about unlocking a physical door, setting up chairs, or establishing a place to meet. It's about opening doors to the marginalized of our society and making them welcome and seen. It's about breaking down borders and providing a seat at the table for all who are hungry. Sabbath is about creating a space for belonging. A belonging found in a shared passion for the compassionate, beautiful, consuming gospel of Jesus Christ.